Today I'm going to be learning more about Australian culture by watching this 7 impressive things Australia does best. I've watched a lot of videos about things Australia does well, so interested to see more. Tell me what you think about these.
Ben,
Yes,
what should we do for a video this week?
I've been thinking about that. This should be what Australians do best.
There are some things that Australia really does best, and here are 7 of those things. Number 1 is the healthcare. I really can't think of anywhere else that does healthcare like Australia.
Recently, some friends of ours came over for a visit, and they was astonished by how quick the medical system was. They even managed to get a same-day doctor appointment.
And then when she went to
That
the
is
appointment,
unheard of in the UK
she was
at the
in and
moment.
out. She'd gone to her doctor's appointment, got a blood test next door, and got a prescription from the chemist, all within 20 minutes. She couldn't believe it, and to be honest, we've never seen a country that does it quite like that either. Obviously, this is possibly not in every place in Australia, especially if you go rural, but certainly where we are, the majority of pathology places are pretty close to the doctors, and you can usually walk in. You know, there might be certain things that you can't just walk into, such as a CT scan, but the majority of testing you can get pretty quickly. However Australia is managing this, they're doing it really well. I honestly can't think of another country where you get the kind of service and it's a public medical system. I mean, tell us if we're wrong, put it in the comments, we'd love to know, but we don't know of anywhere that does better healthcare than Australia on a public system.
Good on you, Australia.
Yeah, so how does Australia do that? Like, again, like, I've not lived in the UK for a while, but all I hear is things are just getting worse and worse. And the NHS was once upon a time like very highly revered and respected. It seems to be getting like privatised in certain areas, and the service is just becoming very bad. Trying to get a same-day appointment seems quite impossible, but Australia, awesome. Why is that? Is it the system itself? Is it the fact that not as many people use it? People are more responsible for their own health and so on. People are just maybe generally healthier and get on better. What's the reason why it's so good? Is it so good in your opinion as well?
Number 2 is the pay. So Australians are paid incredibly well, and I know that a few of you have commented in the past that Australian prices are high, and so it doesn't really make much difference. But actually,
Australia pay a fair living wage.
I do think that after pay, Australians do have some money generally left over for lifestyle. And although you might not think it's a lot if you're from Australia, I feel that a lot of Australians get a better standard of living and lifestyle.
Do you think it's good? Are you happy with it?
I think Australia are doing it very well. Number 3 is the coffee.
We don't even drink coffee, but even we know Australians do it best. It's brought into their lives quite an early age. I see a lot of school kids, like high school kids, they're actually drinking coffee already.
They actually sell it to them in the schools.
I think Australians would actually admit
Is that true?
they are coffee snobs.
If you're used to Australian coffee, then to go and drink coffee elsewhere, you'd probably turn your nose up. Even as non-coffee drinkers, we are well aware that the Australian coffee standards are high. Number 4.
Do they really sell it to children in school? Is that true? Have you seen that yourself? Yeah. When I was younger, I never really liked coffee. Now I love it. When I went to Australia, that was one of my favourite things about it. I've seen that in a lot of videos, but it's good to hear more people say that as well.
4 is Aussie friendliness and service. We are really impressed by it. So you go into somewhere and people are smiling, people are friendly, people
That's true.
welcome
I definitely
you.
seen that in
They
Melbourne.
want you to be
Everybody was
there.
so happy.
I mean, obviously this isn't the case in every single place. You're always going to get a rogue employee somewhere, or owner somewhere. But as an overall general thing, we think that Australia does it best. We've not been anywhere friendlier. Probably the friendliest place we've ever been.
But there is one cafe which is very famous to be very rude in Brisbane.
Oh, is that in Brisbane?
It's in one of the Westfields.
Oh, is it? I didn't know that. I actually saw someone took their
Do you want to say the name of it? I
granddad.
can't think. It's
I don't know the name of it.
Karen's Restaurant.
That's it.
You've got to be a Karen. When you go there, they just insult you constantly.
I've
and
seen
try
things
and
like that
throw
in
you
the
out,
USA
give you
actually.
really bad service, but it's part of the theme.
Yeah.
It's a Karen.
And people take their
Nice.
family members there and record it for a giggle. Number 5.
What do you think about that?
is
Would you go there?
So many areas here get to retain their identity. Everywhere is not the same in Australia, and all of these individual towns and individual beautiful suburbs, they've all got their own personality. Even the different cities, it's not like it's all just become the same. I think where a lot of places in the world have got more built up, they've lost a lot of that character and charm because everything's become a bit samey, whereas Australia's really managed to retain it in many of their towns. Even the various cities within Australia, they've all retained a character of their own, and there's a big difference between every city within Australia. Anywho, so that makes Australia really special because, as we've said in previous videos, you can go to all these different places and you're going to have a different experience everywhere you go because they've kept their identity.
So
Yeah, tell me more about your favourite small Australian town. That's definitely something I want to learn more about. I've learned a lot about the big cities and regions of Australia. I want to now learn about the small towns. I was actually thinking about doing a live stream and maybe doing something like that, learning together. What do you think about that? Would that be a good idea? I want to do my first live stream. If you've got any other ideas of what would be good for me to live stream, please tell me in the comments. If it is the small towns, recommend some small towns that can give me some ideas of what to look for and to research and just find out about.
number 6 is the artisan culture. Australians love beautiful handmade crafts, and over here they're very, very good at it.
And the great thing is about these, the artisan culture here, is that it is supported by all of these markets that we have. So it's a perfect environment for artisans to thrive. Number 7.
We counted.
I missed my fingers. Number 7 is that the Australians have the chance to kickstart themselves financially. So one of the incredible things here is that there are jobs that you can go to. So either FIFO, which is like fly in, fly out, or you can go and work in the middle of nowhere and you get paid a really high wage. That might not be something you can continue long term, but it gives a lot of young people a kickstart to getting a deposit together for a house, or anything that you need, the money for. You get that chance to do it. And as I said, it's not something that everybody can do long term, and certainly maybe not when you've got a family. Some people do, but it's a great opportunity for people to kickstart their savings and their finances.
I know a lot of guys that have started their careers out going to the mine while they're away working,
so it's for the
and they're
mines,
just
is
putting
it?
that money away because the mines are actually paying for all their food and lodgings. So they're just putting money away constantly, and like Maz said, they get paid a decent wage. Sometimes you don't even have to have experience in what you're doing.
It might even be that you're a cook or a chef, and and again they pay you good rates because you're having to work in the middle of nowhere. And it doesn't matter what your background is, where you come from. Every Australian has that opportunity to get out and
true?
really kickstart themselves financially.
Actually sounds great.
So, wait.
Fly in, fly out. That's definitely something I want to learn more about. Tell me if you've ever did one of those jobs, if you've known anybody to do it. What does it entail? I wasn't sure if it was like offshore oil rig, but they mentioned mines there, so I guess it's like maybe you're based in a city, you fly to the mine, work for like a certain amount of time, then fly back. But tell me more about that. Is it open to anybody? Is there certain educational requirements? Any other requirements? How good is the money? What's the money like? What else was I going to say that? Just tell me more about that. It's definitely, maybe I'll try and find a video on that. I want to learn more about that actually. It seems like quite an interesting, quite unique thing. I've not really heard about that anywhere else. Tell me how life is on that sort of thing. But yeah, impressive things Australia does best. A lot of interesting ones, definitely that fly in, fly out is the most interesting because I've not heard that before. But tell me what you think about these. Thanks.